Welcome friends, I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And we're going to make this cute little treat bag. As I make this project, don't worry about keeping track of sizes and so forth. I've got it all written out, directions and everything you need. Come on over to bevadams.com and you can print your directions out. So I was having trouble today coming up with an idea for today's project, and I decided to go to the catalog. They used to call this the idea book because everything in here, every page just about, has a project idea, cards to make, and I ran across this picture here. I don't have this stamp set, I don't have this ribbon, but I can use this idea with the supplies I do have to make a project. I'm going to sort of make this card, or this package. I'm going to put cookies in, and instead of birthday wishes, I'm going to use it for a thank you, but I'm using this as my basic idea. So you're going to need a piece of 4x4 cardstock, or Whisper White cardstock. I've got it scored at 2 inches, and I'm going to keep this as the top of my treat wrapper topper, and so I'm going to stamp thank you one time near the top right corner in Blackberry Bliss. Then I'm going to fold it back. Then off screen I clean my stamp, and now I'm going to stamp again, filling the entire front of this card with thank you in Lost Lagoon. I'm going to use my homemade Stamp-A-Majig. So I've got my clear plastic, so I'm going to stamp with my stamp right in the corner, and because this doesn't have high sides, I'm going to turn it. Now this is not going to be a perfect Stamp-A-Majig, but I think it will work. So I'm going to place thank you where I want it here. I'm going to put my frame here, and in a perfect world, if I stamp this here, not a perfect world. Let me try again. And so now you're seeing why. Now you're seeing why a real Stamp-A-Majig is better, because a real Stamp-A-Majig has nice high sides. And so it's easy to get that placed correctly. Let me show you a real Stamp-A-Majig. It's got the nice tall sides, and mine's kind of messy right now. I've been using it for other projects, but that's okay. You put the plastic right in the corner, and you can use it any direction. I am left-handed, so I use it this way. If you're right-handed, it might feel better like that, or even this way, whichever direction you want. And then you can place your image exactly where you want it, and place the Stamp-A-Majig in that same corner. And now the lines are nice and even. So because my homemade one didn't work as nicely, I'm just going to make up the difference as best I can. I don't want these to be lined up. I'm kind of making a offset pattern here. And I'm going to cover this whole front with thank yous. Okay, I finished up the stamping, and I think my neighbor has finished up mowing the lawn. And if you look really carefully, you'll see that my stamping is not lined up perfectly. I didn't take the time to do it exactly, but I also wanted to show you that really the impression is that the card is full of thank yous, and then this one that's in Blackberry Bliss stands out. And I really think that that's the important thing. that I could have done it with the Stamp-A-Majig Perfect, 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 but it doesn't need to be. Okay, maybe my neighbor is done with their mowing. So, and I'm done with my card. So I've got a bag, and I think that actually the less expensive bags are better for this project. These are not quite as clear. They're nice and thick. They're great bags, but I think I want a nice clear bag for this. If you have the fold-over tops, those are great. This one's a less expensive brand. And I'm just going to actually cut off the reclosable part at the top. And then I'm going to fold in, starting at the bottom corner, I'm going to fold it in on itself to make a kind of a gusseted bag, because this bag is wider than my cookies. I want it to be about 4 inches, and so I'm folding a gusset on each side to make it smaller. So I'm just kind of sticking my finger in, pushing it into the middle, and folding it or pleating it until it's about the right size. And then I'm going to put a couple of cookies. These are actually store-bought from the grocery store, but of course you could make your own. And I'm going to put them on top of that gusseted part. I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to put my label over this. Now you could use your regular stapler. Our new Stampin' Up! Stapler has a nice long reach, and so I'm using this. And I want to be kind of straight across here because I'm going to cover up these staples with a ribbon. So I'm just going to tie over some Lost Lagoon ribbon. Try and make a bow as nice and neat as I can. And I find that using a little alligator clip from the electrical department of my hardware store helps me tie bows. Gives me an extra hand. And I think little loops look cuter for this kind of thing. So there's a nice little bow, I think. Trim it. And then I just want to have, and just like, it's cute just like that, I think. And then I thought I would stamp a little heart. I'm going to stamp my heart in Blackberry Bliss on just the tiniest little scrap of paper. Then I'm going to punch it out with the coordinating Itty Bitty Accents punch. And then I'm going to, I've got the edges of Stampin' Dimensionals because you really only need a part of one. Take off the back and pop it. I'm actually going to try and cover up as much goof. I think I think it'll be just fine just right there. And there I've got my treat bag. And just like a real simple treat, store-bought cookies, and it really looks very cute. So if you want directions, if you want to print out those directions, come on over to bevadams.com. If you want to buy the cardstock or the supplies or find out more about my Getting Started challenge, you can do all of that at bevadams.com. And if you want to buy the Stampin' Up! Cellophane bags that are already 4 inches wide, We carry those too, and they're all food safe grade. Talk to you soon. Bye.